Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to a video where apparently necromancy combat has been balanced. So necromancy has had some combat changes and we have something about a beta update as well. So we're going to read through this post, talk about some stuff and get prepared for the changes to necromancy, see what's going on. I've had a quick skim through it. It seems there's a lot to cover, so here we go. Right, so it says the launch of Necromancy has seen a surge in players stepping into the role of a new Necromancer, taking on all manner of adversaries with their new tools and skills. This has been an absolute joy to see, and we're looking forward to seeing these players continue to grow into experienced PvMers. Now that Necromancy is settled in, there are two key areas of focus to tackle next based on your feedback in high skill balancing of all styles and the desire to see some of Necromancy's combat systems added to the other styles. We know these topics are really important to many of you, so we've been putting in pieces into place to enable a committed development effort in the months ahead. This all kicks off with some initial rebalancing on Monday, followed by the launch of the combat beta on October 30th to bring some of Necromancy's systems to the existing styles. Most importantly, a combat beta gives us great opportunity to work directly with PvMers on getting this right. And then they're going to say, here's a rundown of what to expect in the near future for combat balancing, and full patch notes can be found at the bottom of this blog. Okay, so before we move on to the actual balancing update for Necromancer, which is coming on Monday in 3 days, I just want to say with this here, the beta that's coming on the October 30th, I hope that when they say to bring some Necromancy systems to the existing styles, it's not just the hit cap and the crits. I think that probably would help, obviously, but I do still think that the styles themselves need some adjusting to make them feel smoother. Like, using Necromancy feels different to using magic range and melee, which it should, of course it should, but it feels different in a sense of they were made in 2012 and this was made in 2023. A lot of the ability uses just makes more sense for Necro, feels smoother to use, and makes sense and is intuitive, whereas the other styles lack that intuitiveness or whatever you call it, and it just feels a little bit more clunky. So hopefully they do that as well as affecting the actual damage numbers and stuff like that too. But either way, it's going to be interesting to look forward to, and I am looking forward to it. Necromancy balancing update, October 23rd. In the short term, we also want to address Necromancy's presence and strength as a combat style. With that in mind, we want to make a few adjustments as we prepare to take steps towards combat balancing as a larger discussion. Okay, we're looking at balancing Necromancy's strengths, huh? Here's what we're bringing to the game next week. Okay, we're adjusting Conjure Spirits to tone down their power level while improving their quality of life. It's quality of life. Adrenaline cost has been removed from Conjure and Command. Fucking goddamn, that's so good. Yes, thank you. That is beautiful. Love it. The damage going down a little bit doesn't matter. A lot of people weren't conjuring them anyway, so overall probably going to be good. We've observed this playstyle and feel that separating conjures from adrenaline is the best approach going forward. I completely agree. This should help normalize damage across the entire encounter instead of it all being front loaded at the beginning. Again, yes, this is really good. I like this a lot. I want to test it out. I can't wait to test it out. I think this is a buff and not a nerf. Like, yes, they're going to tone down the power, but those places where you just wouldn't conjure the zombie again, because why would you ever conjure the zombie again? It costs too much adrenaline and it didn't really do anything unless the place was poisonable and you were using Cinderbanes and you were using, you know what I mean? Like, it just, yeah. So definitely addressing the power of Command Vegetable Ghost. There was a bit too much power in the Woo. We'll also be introducing a new ability, Conjure. So they're looking at something about the ghost. We'll get to that. It's all further down in the post. This ability requires 99 Necromancy for Conjure Undead Army and is available at tier 7 of the Well of Souls talent tree, so you'll need to put another point into it. Good. Ectoplasm costs will be equal to double each Conjure ability included. Okay, and the ability can be right-clicked and customized to select remove conjure abilities. No, that's fine. I think increasing ectoplasm cost is fine. It doesn't matter, right? Ectoplasm is not expensive, so that's not a problem. So now we're going to be able to. Oh, this is for the undead one anyway. To conjure the whole army, it costs more. Yeah, that's fine. Hell yeah, that's all good. This is really cool, by the way. Having one icon to conjure them all It's going to be beautiful. The only pain in the ass thing is going to be that we now need to have all of these and that on the bar, because these don't have the same durations. So see the ghost here? It's going to run out. It's going to run out quicker. So if we pause this, the ghost is going to run out first, and then I think the zombie runs out, and then I think the skeleton. These could be the same, maybe. I don't know off the top of my head, but you're going to have to at least have the ghost again before you conjure everything, because the ghost is going out first, and you're going to have, unless you can like reconjure them all, maybe you unequip an offhand and put it back on and then do it. I don't know, but either way, this is still great quality of life. It saves a lot of like global cooldowns before starting a fight. Love it. Talent tree, Well of Souls is where the ability is going to be, the last one at the top there, and you can put them in to see which one you're going to actually summon. Good. There's 4 slots. Look, guys, look. There's 4 slots. Vorkath dropping a 4th conjure confirmed. Well, maybe not confirmed, but I'm going to guess that it probably does, and it's going to go right there. Look at this. That's locked. That's not locked. You put them in. We're going to get a 4th one. Yes. Hell yeah. Please note, they will be closely monitoring these changes and will be continuing to iterate based on feedback. We see during this time, full patch notes can be found at the bottom of this blog. You said that before, and we're going to have a look in a second. Combat beta. This is the thing I am super excited and looking forward to reading about this, but let's see. Okay, so as mentioned, we're going to continue to iterate on combat adjustments as we look towards a combat beta with more changes for the other styles on October 30th. Good, let's see. The goal of this beta is to get combat system changes into player hands and get player feedback and direction into the development flow and try out a few ideas on how to improve the combat skills. This will be one part of the process as reworking the combat styles is an extensive project. Okay. With each styles having its quirks and whatever, I can't pronounce it today, that need refinement, and we want to bring players along this journey. Good, you should bring players on the journey. This is great. The core 3 changes that are going into the first beta release are: enable damage potential for all combat styles for the player. This is the removal of hit chance and instead a damage scaler based on percentage chance to hit. So exactly the same as Necromancy, so you're not going to hit anymore. Splashing is gone. This is good. It feels way better. There's nothing worse than throwing like, I don't know, a wild magic and missing both hits and going, yes, okay, cool. Thanks. I had 99% accuracy, missed them both. Love it. So this is good. Definitely way better. Increase the damage count for all combat styles. This is an increase from 10,000 or 12,000 to 30,000. Good. Love to see it. This isn't going to affect magic all that much, but melee is going to freaking love this. I think range as well. Ruby bolts maybe going to do massive damage now, by the way. Bolts maybe coming back into the game. We'll have to see. The combat beta, people will figure all this stuff out. Implement a simplified critical strike system for all combat styles. Each style will have a % chance to critically strike, and then when you critically strike, your damage is increased by your critical strike damage, which increases with level. Okay, good. Critical strike chance 10% by default for all styles. However, this could change based on the better feedback. So maybe they'll do something with this, as in like, I know it's default for all styles for now for the beta, but maybe they'll make it so magic, because it doesn't hit as high, and because that Staff of Armadyl is going to crit more often. Maybe range doesn't crit as much, but it does lots of tiny damage, right? Maybe you're just gonna have to ignore my Steam. It is what it is. Maybe melee like has a higher crit damage, but it doesn't have like its higher crit rate. I don't know. We'll have to see. Critical strike damage, same formula as Necromancy for all styles. However, this could change based on better feedback. Good. Melee could have 100% critical strike damage. Okay, so yeah, so melee could hit harder, maybe crit less, and magic could maybe crit like more often, but less as well. Less damage, sorry. So it could be interesting for sure. They should definitely keep all that into mind and take into account too. Note, melee uses the strength stat for this. Mod Ryan, and they've already thought about this. They've already put thought into this one. Mod Ryan and Sponge are also working on the next iteration of changes as part of a rebalance, and they would like to get these ready for beta launch, but it will be more likely to be in a later iteration of the beta. But we will be sharing more information on how the beta will function close to the launch. Right, this bit here, good. I love this. Thank you. But Jagex, listen, if anyone, this is stupid because it's coming from me, it doesn't matter. If anyone at Jagex ever sees this video, please communicate this stuff sooner. You've got a full player base that is insanely frustrated right now, and that you're being fed all this stuff. if you dropped Halloween and this and also said like, hey, look, we are looking like, just, you don't have to drop all of it, all the news that you just put in this post, but just say to the player base, the combat beta isn't just us increasing hit counts, by the way. We're thinking of doing all these things. We could be doing that. Just drop a Reddit post. Just a Reddit post. Drop a news post. The content creators will do the rest for you. Share all the news around. People will know. But just communicate stuff that's exciting for players, and just say like, oh, we're also doing this and we're also doing that. And I understand sometimes you can't say certain things because what if it changes, right? And then you just let the players down. But stuff like this, where you've just said Mod Ryan and Sponge are also working on the next iteration of changes as part of a rebalance, but it'll, you know, come later in the day. So, like, just saying, oh, by the way, we're going to be having 2 betas likely. This could change, guys, but we may probably having 2 betas instead of just the 1, and we're going to take combat changes seriously, and we want to rebalance the actual styles rather than just the numbers, and we're going to do it properly. You know how many players happy from that? Like, oh, okay, so rather than just giving up on the game entirely, I just have to wait a few months and see what happens. Maybe for 6 months, you know, you never know. But it's there. It's in the just my thoughts on this. Anyway, let's move on to the actual thing. Anyway, bonus feature, drop tables. That wasn't mentioned before, was it? I don't think so. It's a bonus one, I guess. So this is the drop tables for Necromancy. The numbers have been confirmed. And 1 in 10, which we guessed for Hermod. 1 in 2,000 for the pet. I don't think I have the pet yet, so it makes sense. Raziel, 1 in 320 for the weapon table, 1 in 316 with tier 4 look. Even distribution for both weapons, 50-50 chance for lantern or arm guard. Okay, cool. So you guys that have like 10 arm guards and 1 lantern, or the other way around, that's crazy. But still, 1 in 316 is pretty good. 1 in 128. To hit the armor table with tier 4 look. 1 in 128. We knew the drop rates were low. This is good. I like this. I'm glad the drop rates are low. I think Raziel drop rates are good. I like that the prices are still pretty good, but aren't insanely expensive, so people can't access it. That's good. Even distribution for all armor, 20% of each piece. The weapon and armor table are individual rolls, and you can get them both in the same kill. Yeah, we know that one so far. The pet is 1 in 1,500 with threshold of 300 since the launch of Necromancy, and players getting to battle this ghastly duo. There has been 10,176 pet drops and, well, 10,176 Herman or Hermod. Well, it's the Herman. It's called Herman, but it's the Hermod boss. And then the cat drops from Necromancy. Cool. And over 16 million Hermodic plates. Goddamn. All right. There's been 109,000 collective pieces of the first Necromancer armor dropped. What? Okay. And he's surely going to run out of Ensouled Cloth eventually. That is a lot. That is a lot of pieces. 109,000. Each player only needs 5. That's crazy. All right. People hoarding these up or something. No, people are just disassembling them. Necromancy balancing update patch notes. Conjure Skeleton warrior ability. Damage range has been reduced from 20. Okay, so this is the actual numbers of what's changing of the conjures. So the Conjure Skeleton damage has gone from 22. No, it's gone from 27 to 33 to 22 to 28, which is this is fair. It's a fair amount. You probably will notice the damage. But being able to use it all the time and not have to worry about adrenaline. Oh wait, skeleton was fine. You could do this anyway, but the others is fine. You got to do this one too as well as that one because you're gonna have them all together. Additional damage has been changed to damage increase. Okay. Previously, each race stat would offer 1% ability damage. The average damage would be 55% ability damage per hit. Now each phrase stack increases damage by 3%. This is now 43.75% of max stacks. Base is 25. Okay, so I mean it's still pretty close, but the damage per stack is increased. So using the command ability is going to be even more important now than before, from what I can tell, right? The zombie, the one that you would never use, right? Because, well, you would use it, but at the beginning. The adrenaline cost removed. Good. Base duration reduced to 42 seconds, minus 3 seconds. That's fine if you can reconjure every time. Boost speed increase from walking to running. Good. Ah, yes. Thank you. Thank you. This guy was the most frustrating piece of crap ever. The running is so much better. The skeleton zombie had his head screwed on. This guy, something was wrong with him. The zombie's passive poison damage had its damage range reduced from 27 to 33 to 8 to 12. That's a big amount. The passive proc interval rate increased from 1.8 to 3 seconds. Okay, The passive poison on this is a lot. We've reduced the damage and tick rate of poison as currently it was offering too much passive damage for minimal investment, and we wanted poison bills to have their moments but still require equipment investments to see the full effects. Cool, that's fine. Bug fix, passive damage will no longer attempt to apply poison while wearing Cinderbane gloves. That wasn't intentional. Okay. The zombie is very much now focused more on the AoE than the passive. You can cast this about a target, and that means you could blow him up if you need to conjure the army again. So you could just kill him. You could just be like, okay, buy a zombie, and then you could conjure the army rather than unconjuring them if the times don't line up. But yeah, so this seems like now the explosion, the AoE of the zombie is the biggest focus, which I think is fine. This guy's going to be great for like elite dungeon clears now, whereas before, again, I still didn't even bother because he walked. He never got to the group in time. He always blew up in the wrong place, and the adrenaline cost wasn't worth it. You just use Scythe, right? So we'll see. Conjure Vengeful Ghost ability. The adrenaline cost has been removed. All the commands have also been removed, by the way. So the heal value reduced to 125. It was 175. The healing now happens on hit as opposed to on attack, which means the healing value will scale up based on damage modifiers if the target is inflicted with debuffs such as Haunted or Vulnerability. So debuffing your target will give you more healing now rather than before, where it was all before, so the buffs didn't matter. But the heal has been reduced by a significant amount. It's still going to be good. You're still going to, the healing you get from this is still going to be really good, and you're still going to find it like probably better than Animate Dead once you have the darkness ability as well. I think this needed adjusting personally. It is a nerf, and people aren't going to be happy about it because the heal was like carrying people through Zuck and stuff. But this is important, and I think this is fine, and it's free now as well, right? You can conjure this guy all the time, have it up 24/7, rather than having to go, oh, okay, I can't use Living Death now because I've had to use my Ghost. So it's still overall going to be better. Command Vengeful Ghost ability. Adrenaline cost has been removed. Command now has a fixed duration of 30 seconds and will require recasting, whereas before it didn't have to do that. The guy is once per life cycle. Doesn't matter, it's free. Change the effect from 100% of base damage to a cap up to a cap of 35% ability damage to 10% of wait, okay, hold on. 100% of base damage up to a cap of 30% of ability damage to 10% of base damage up to a cap of 20% ability damage as bonus damage. Okay, this the intention with this change is to still enable the benefit of amplifying hard-hitting abilities while reducing how much extra damage was being generated from lots of instances of low damage hits. So I think this is I'm gonna have to wait until we actually know about this. I'm kind of do the math off the top of my head. This is still a one-take thing, right? But I think this basically does the opposite of what Split Soul does now. Or like where Split Soul, if you use bleeds, the more often you hit, the better. Whereas if you do one big hit, it's like diminishing returns. This is going to be opposite, right? I think. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I don't know. Live transfer incantation. The increased duration from 20 seconds to 21. Okay, good. Changed from maximum life points to base life points. If you have 15,000 life points with 99 constitution, you will only lose 4,950. Okay. Instead of losing 7,000, which you would lose in the current version. I like this. This is really good. This incentivizes tank armor so much more. So it's always the most you're going to be able to use is the most you're going to be able to lose is 4,950. If you used a Vit Pot and you used tank gear, you would take 15,000 life points when you use that ability. So this works better for sure. Invoke Death Incantation. The duration is 12 seconds with 6. Good. Thank God for this. It's still one application per cast, but there was an over-reliance at the start of fights on being tick perfect with Invoke Death, which made it feel clunky. Like it. Good. Better. Way better. Use it earlier. You got way longer to be able to apply it. You don't have to like they say, tick perfect it, or you don't have to remember to do it later in the fight instead. General, Necromancy Shields will no longer cause Conjure Spirits to despawn. What? Why didn't you not bring in this information sooner that this sort of thing is going to be addressed, man? The players would have been so much happier over the last couple of weeks. This is good. Thank you. It makes so much more sense. Necromancy Shields are now classified as having an underworld connection, which allows them to maintain Conjure Spirits, but they cannot be used to conjure them. Good, that's a good fix. Resolve some issues related to Death Mark, fix an issue that caused it to trigger multiple items. and fixed an issue where the damage from the mark was delayed. Fixed an issue that allowed death marks insta-kill damage to reflect it at the player. Holy crap, okay. Let's not do that. Right, so that's what like it, Araxi, I think, or something, right? So overall, there is massive changes in here, and I think it's good. I don't think there's anything in here that I'm like, oh no, this isn't gonna be good. I think everything in here is good. I don't think there's a single like L or F or RIP or whatever you want to call it in here. I think it's pretty much good. We'll have to see what the damage changes with the conjures. I think this is gonna not hurt. I think this is gonna feel like it hurts a little bit at first, but when you realize that you can in fact have your conjures up 24/7, including the ghost, right? The ghost, sometimes you will still have downtime on it because of the adrenaline, but now you can have it up all the time. So the healing is less, but there's not going to be any time where you don't get any healing. So I think this is good. It also means that you don't really have to use life transfer, because why would you use life transfer when you can just reconjure them straight away? I don't think this ability matters anymore. I could be very wrong. It could still be worth using, maybe at the beginning of a fight or something. Maybe you would use this if it's just inconvenient to be reconjuring these soon. But you've got the army one, so it's 1 global cooldown. I don't know. We'll have to see how that falls into place. But you can have this up 24/7 now for the cost of 1 global cooldown. And then, of course, the global cooldowns for the command abilities too, which would only be the ghost mostly. So, yeah. Anyway, I think this is great. What do you guys think in the comments? I will cover these changes when they're in the game properly in like video format. Obviously, this is me reading the post and talking about it. But yeah, other than that, I'll catch you all in the next one. See you later, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.